Hey, welcome back to the Word of Mouth Podcast, Season 2, Episode 15. Just played a couple of back to back pre records, The Mule and the Mustang, which is a hilarious story of how my wife had explained to me that if I could just slow down a little bit and be more mindful and not just run through, over, and plow everything in an effort to be efficient all the time and always win an invisible race that's usually only existing in my head, that it would be great, right? To harness the power of a Mustang, the passion, the strength, and but give it the mindfulness of a mule is my new adult journey in life. So thank you, Lisa, for that one. Then the double stroller standoff is a great story about we get to Hawaii and instead of being just happy that we're all in Hawaii together and enjoying this moment, I'm just in this max efficiency mode of how do we get to the hotel the quickest. And we end up in this, argument about whether or not to go down the escalator with two babies. And in my head, I thought I was totally right. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Why would we go all the way down there to the elevator? But now I get it. She was right. You don't do that with infants. It was stupid. It's funny because my buddy Brandon said he had the same argument with his wife. She told him no too. Well, Brandon, I hate to break your burst your bubble, man. We were both wrong. You don't take infants down the escalator. Oh my God, what were we thinking? All right, so when you deal with babies, take the elevator. All right, that's the lesson learned there. And that just means with everything, go slow, go safe. Think about an elevator. It moves slow, it arrives slow, it goes slow, it opens the door slow. So, when we're dealing with babies, we take the elevator, guys. All right, so this episode is a call out to my stepmom, Deb, and my buddy Marlin, who's retired now. And I call out Marlin because I know he can't say no. Because if he doesn't meet this challenge, then he will have to subject himself to a lifetime of ridicule from me, which Marlin will die in the freezing cold waters of Coronado before he will ever give me a leg up on him. So I know he can't not accept this challenge. And my stepmom, Deb, said she gets a lot out of these episodes in the slowing down, being more mindful presence. And when I talk about that a lot through my journey to get over alcohol and just kind of slow down and actually observe life, like I lived in San Diego for 3 years before I realized they decorated Orange Street for Christmas, right? That's the kind of blur that, you live in that world. And I wanted season 2 to be about beautiful moments. Well, these beautiful moments, like the mule and the Mustang and the double stroller standoff, like I would have never came to these realizations that I was wrong and that she was right. And it was ridiculous to think that we could take infants down the elevator or escalator if I was drinking, right? So this is a blessing of sobriety, a beautiful moment that a alpha male, rah Texas boy, special operator could take a step back and actually realize that I was wrong, right? And I would have never been able to do that if I was still drinking. So, that is a beautiful moment. That's why I put it into this season. And now the next thing is the competitive self-care, because last week we had or 2 weeks ago, I worked 4 12-hour days just packing and moving boxes, resettling our family down to Florida right before a hurricane. But, we didn't know that was going to happen anyways. But at the end of the first day, now feet hurt so bad. My knee, my meniscus tear was barking at me. My left Achilles, all those VA claim thing stuff. They started chirping at me. I was really tired and sore, and I realized that my wife, she always takes baths. It's like her thing, So I thought, why don't I go take a bath and pour some Epsom salt in, because I hear that's good for aches and pains. Because when the packers were finished after a 10-hour day of packing, they went home. I thought, oh, if they're going to stop and go home, maybe I should stop too. Interesting, because at any other point in my life, I would have just kept working until midnight, until I passed out, right? And got up and did it again the next day. But I thought, well, I was started 2 hours before they got here. They were here for almost 10 hours. So that's 12 hours. maybe I should just stop for the day. That's a crazy thought, right? So it's like 4 in the afternoon. I go take this, what ended up being like an hour and a half long bath because I put on the Divergent series and started watching the first movie. And I kept letting some water out and putting more hot water in. I dumped a bunch of Epsom salt and I just sat in there and just chilled for like an hour and a half. And I got out, put on some clean clothes, and went out in my car. And I mean, it felt like a completely new day. I would not have thought that I had spent 12 hours drenched in sweat on my feet, packing boxes at that day. So the current state of self-care is not only does Marlin and my stepmom Deb have to do this, but you have to do it in the afternoon. You don't wait till the end of the day to do it, right? Because it will split your day up like 2 separate days. And if you do it in the late afternoon when you first get home, great, because the rest of your evening is going to be so peaceful and so chill if you do this mid-afternoon or right when you get home, not before you go to bed. So get in the bath, either take a bath for 30, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever you can stand. I found that putting a little fan in there helps keep it not so swampy and miserable. With low light, so turn off the light, light a candle, crack a door or something, salt lamp, just minimal light so you can see and move around safely. But you want the room to be dim. Preferably you do this either a 15, 20, 30-minute shower or a 30, 60-minute bath, and you do it in silence or listen to music or, whatever keeps you in there, a podcast, put a movie on your phone, whatever can keep you in the shower or the bath for the length of time in low light to just relax. And it's an intentional shower bath to just kind of melt away the day, to show some gratitude, to actually sit and think about all the things that you did up to this point. And I promise you, if you do it, if you think back to the time you woke up until the time you got into the bath, all the little things that you did, you got up, you did this, that, got kids ready, fed dogs, like whatever goes on in your life, you're going to be like, wow, I actually got a lot of stuff done today. And it'll make you feel like you can chill. Like you can not only chill, you deserve it, right? You deserve to just sit back for an hour and relax in the bath or take like a long shower. And so, Epsom salt, that's a good, I found with all the scrapes and stuff on my skin that helps actually clean them up. So, all right. So the last trick of it, Deb and Marlin, is when you get up to rinse off, before you get out, you got to do the last couple seconds with cold water. So like if I take a bath, I'll rinse off with the shower, but I'll rinse off with the cold shower. At least a couple seconds. The longer you can do it, the better. If you can do it for 20, 30, 40 seconds, minute, right? But the last bit's got to be cold to rinse your body off and like it kind of shocks your brain and refreshes and restarts the whole day so that you can have the second half of your day can be completely peaceful. So I want you to try that, and then you either have to report back that you did that or did something better, or admit that what I did is good. All right. So the next episode I'm going to introduce is called Grind or Regret. I recorded this for people like young athletes, kids, college athletes, high school athletes that are trying to go out for a special program in the military, and to kind of explain to them that there's 2 choices every day. It's you versus you every day in a program like that, right? And there's a choice every morning that you have to make. Do you want to suffer through the daily grind and be successful? Or do you want to quit and live with a lifetime of regret? The thing about the regret, though, is you don't know that that's the choice you're gambling with, right? All you can see is the grind. And it's not till you quit and it's all over and you look back that you have regret, and there's nothing you can do about it at that point. It's done. And so it's kind of a way to like let people know what can, in advance, like put that in their head before they make the decision to quit. Like ask themselves, do I want to live with a lifetime of regret? And it's a way for them to mentally prepare to push through those hard evolutions. So I throw this out to my buddy Jerry down in Jacksonville, Florida. He's trying to get his hot dog business off the ground out on the beach. He's got quite a uphill battle with the first hurricane. Right when he's trying to launch his business, the first hurricane rolled through and that kind of messed things up. And then he's like getting everything back together to try again. And bam, here comes the next hurricane. But you know what I told him, Jerry? I said, you know what? This episode is for you, Grind or Regret, because look at you, man. You're still out there. You faced down 2 historic one historic hurricane, another one's coming, and all you're talking about is how you're going to push through and be successful. So you're a grind kind of person, whether you know it or not. And this next episode goes out to you, Jerry, grind or regret. Good luck. I know you're going to be successful because you've got the grind in you, brother.